truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop arguing me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up on the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's new. Come on, man. Can you feel the pain? Into him now about this new world. Ain't no drag. Papa's got a brand new eye.
Hey everybody, it's the chicks on the right here. We had such a blast on the Don't Unfriend Me show.
Check them out at The Dumb Show on social media or thedumbshow.com.
They stream weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern, and you guys, they are your people.
They totally are. And you can find us in all the places by visiting chicksontheright.com/links and watch us weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Aha! There she is. Slide moved. What's going on, everybody? Hope everyone's doing well. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. Looks like it's going to be another shitty night on Facebook. I'm missing my child's baseball game for this. Oh, I hate throttle season. Throttle season is the worst, and they are going to continue to do it. Please share, like, and subscribe. We definitely need your assistance tonight. If it's like it was last night, I am just going to pop smoke and go watch the game. So it's just, there's nothing you can do when they're like this. It's just bad. It's bad all the way around. Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me Show. You guys saw Chicks on the Right last night. T.S. Dixon's coming up on the 15th. Ryan Weaver on the 26th. June 5th, Damani Felder, Ryan Samuels on the 11th, and Dave Bondi will be here on the 19th. We also have confirmation Scott Lebedo did RSVP along with Ty the Fish and several others. So we're doing great. Got a whole bunch of great shows coming for you. You guys, it's just me tonight. Leroy is taking the night off. He wasn't feeling too good, and plus, it's just one of those nights. So welcome. What do you mean no Rumble? I don't know what that means. What do you mean no Rumble? Is Rumble not working again? It's so frustrating. Hold on a second. Rumble's not on. Rumble's on? Okay, let me look. Yeah, Rumble's on. Good job. Thanks, babe. Rumble's on, folks. I don't know what we're talking about. Rumble's fine. It's there. It's me. Okay, good. It's all right, Robert. No problem. Welcome. So anyway, good to have everybody here. Donations are up on the board. Listen, last night was terrible. Even though we had great donation night, too much stress. Like, wait until the last minute. Can't do it. Nope. So let's see if we can get to it tonight. Let's get to it early. We're going to start right away. I got a whole bunch to cover with y'all. And we're also taking phone calls, 276-200-2105. If you have a second, give us a call. You want to talk? You want to chat? You want to do stuff like that? Please do, and we will answer to the best of our ability. I'm finishing uploading the podcast from last night, and if I don't do it now, I will not get it done. So bear with me as I finish this. Should just take about another 10 seconds if I'm as good as I usually am. And podcast will be up. All right, so a whole bunch in the news. Once again, thedumbshow.com/donate. Don't forget to head on over there and help the show if you would not mind. Also, something cool happened today. Barry Morgenstein, everyone got their shirts, and Barry got his as well, and he decided to go ahead and model the American 250 anniversary shirt, and he is officially the model on the front page now for this shirt. So if you go there and look at the Freedom shirt, it's Barry, y'all. And okay, this is pissing me off. Is it going to be one of those shows? It just feels like it's going to be one of those shows. It feels like it's a Monday, and it's not going to be a good show. I don't know. Got a feeling. Anyway, here's the kick-ass shirt, and Barry got his, and he is the official model of the America 250 shirt. So if you would like to go over and see it, you can go to thedumbshow.com and go and do that. All right, let's have a better show, because graphics are screwing up and things are not going smooth. All right, let's open up this window here. All right, rookie. It's Amateur Night at Improv. You think I've been doing this for 5.5 years? Yep. Tommy, you always let me know the news, and you don't even let me give me a chance to tell you the news. So just give me a chance. I'm going to talk about all those things. Let's start off with a couple of things. One is, please share, like, and subscribe. Get this out. We've got 50 people on. I'm going to throw up. Whistleblower no Dems showed. So the whistleblower showed up, CIA. This is all coming around, which I don't understand. It's all kabuki theater, because Fauci's statute of limitations on his possible convictions this is going to hurt the thread even more. I don't even know if I want to do this segment, because then we're really going to get throttled. But anyway, on COVID and the origination of the China virus, he was pardoned. I mean, he had a blanket pardon. I don't know why Marjorie Taylor Greene's making a big deal about it, but she's dumb as dog shit, so she doesn't understand. But he has a blanket pardon, and it was all the way up through before 2016, up to a week after the swearing in of Joe Biden. So I don't know what the hell is up with that, but they're now doing these oversight committees, and there's a whistleblower from the CIA talking about it. And I'm like, day late and a dollar short, folks. Don't you think we should have done this, a couple of months ago? But we didn't. So it doesn't really matter. Nothing can happen to Fauci anyway. But here is the no Democrats showed, and then we'll show the whistleblower testimony. Here it is.
This picture, because just a few minutes ago, just shy of the top of the hour, you could see over the left shoulder of Senator Ron Johnson the empty seats of Democrats, and we could show. I mean, look at that room. And even James Erdman, who is the whistleblower witness today, was asked about, and I believe it was Bernie Moreno who asked him this, how does that make you feel knowing that those Democrats aren't there? And he says that, of course, I wish that they were. I mean, you want everyone to know what he has to say.
Gene, I'm looking at your invoice here. I will look at it at the next level. You ordered it. Yeah, it's not late. You ordered it. Let me do this. Let me play the next video, and when you do that, I will take a look at your order. I want to make sure you're taken care of. So no Dems showed up to this thing. And the whistleblower had some interesting things to say. Let me play it for you, and we can listen to it together. Here it is.
Thank you for the complimentary introduction, and I appreciate the committee's dedication to transparency and accountability. I am a career CIA operations officer, and as you mentioned, I was on joint duty assignment at the Office of Director National Intelligence Directors Initiatives Group, or the DIG, between March 2025 and April 2026. I was responsible for leading the DIG's investigation into COVID origins, anomalous health incidents, and unidentified anomalous phenomena. I'm here today to discuss the COVID cover-up, the national security implications associated with the DIG's investigative findings.
So, Gene, real quick, your order, it's being fulfilled. It was received early in the morning on May 7th. So, yeah, that's within range. So, you should have it here. It'll probably ship tomorrow or the next day. I'm not sure. But I will keep an eye on it. But it's a long sleeve, and the other ones took about 5 days, 6 days too. So I will stay with you, and we'll keep watching. I know Ronnie and Christy and Keith are also waiting for something too. So I'll keep an eye on it for you. Here's the rest of this. Donation. Thank God. Thank God. And why isn't my donation monitor working? You know, I'm so sick of this thing. Robert Petrowski donating 1776. It's gonna be a great night. I hope so. It's gotta get better. I don't know what the is going on with our widgets. They're just not working. And every time I move it, it still isn't working. Let me see if I can get this going. Hold on. Ugh, here's the rest of the video. I'll see if I can fix it.
And CIA refusal to comply with lawful oversight, as well as how we remedy these problems. Intelligence community leaders and senior analysts downplayed the possibility that the COVID pandemic originated as a result of a lab incident. Motives are difficult to define given the scope of the DIG's review. Intentional or not, the IC's actions resulted in a cover-up, wasted resources, and a failure to properly inform policymakers. Public health policy would have been very different had the American public been made aware that a virus from a lab in China was going to serve as the foundation for an emergency use authorization mRNA products being mandated by the former administration. Dr. Fauci's role in the cover-up was intentional. Dr. Fauci influenced the analytical process and findings by leveraging his position to ensure the IC consulted with a conflicted list of curated subject matter experts, public health officials, and scientists. This included some of the authors of the paper, The Proximal Origin of SARS-CoV-2, and other public health experts who have been in his orbit for the last 20-plus years. Some of the scientists were part of the Biological Sciences Experts Group.
Okay. So, a couple of things. I can't stand it when people, they have dry mouth and they're testifying. It just makes me nervous. It's like, you're nervous, right? And there's no reason to have a dry mouth if you're nervous. Now, maybe he doesn't speak in front of people or whatever, but it's just like when I hear jurors do that, whenever I sat on a jury, I always listened to the witnesses, and I maybe I go back to old training, and old habits die hard, but it's interesting. Okay, great. Who cares? Nothing's going to happen. You can't touch Fauci. So why are we wasting our money? You know what I mean? We know there was a cover up. We know it was China virus. We know it was in the Wuhan lab. We said this. We knew what happened with the vax. We knew social distancing was bullshit. We knew why they did it. And who cares? Nobody's going to be held accountable. Like, why do we waste our time on these hearings? Because we know nothing is going to happen. It isn't. So how about this? How about you get your ass out of committee and go lean on Senate to pass the SAVE Act? You know, I don't mean to be negative. You know, I think there was a time there I was lofty and I was positive, and I was a person of faith that our government would finally get its, together. Those days are gone. I do not have that anymore. I just don't. And honestly, I think a lot of people are with me. I think a lot of people are in the same boat that I'm in, that they're just like, nope, I'm done. I'm not buying into this anymore. I'm not going to have faith that the government that put us, 40 trillion in debt, who is corrupt, who has slush fund accounts to pay off sexual assault and infidelity and abortions and uses taxpayer money to go ahead and fund those cases. The people who are all cronies and who are a part of the deep state and all are the uniparty. I'm sorry, I don't trust them to do anything. And I don't think anyone out there can give me a verifiable reason why I should have faith that this is going to be held accountable. What are we going to do? Go to world war with China? No. Do I think China intentionally released it? No. No, I don't. I think China would be suicidal and stupid to do that. I don't believe they did. Do I believe China knew where it came from, knew the origination, and didn't let the World Health Organization and let the United States know? For sure. How do I know this? Because they had a vaccine, an operating vaccine before anyone, and they were the first to have initial contact, and they deployed that very, very quickly. And the ones that didn't get it, they rounded up in the camps and they let them die. So to me, nothing's going to happen. So great, we have a whistleblower. Who cares? James Broman III, or Erdman, is that his name? I'm blind as a bat. Good. I'm glad you're whistleblower. Could you have done this like 4 years ago? Whistleblower status has been available for a long time. Hell, whistleblower status was available when I was in. Danny, I know this might be a dumb question, but I'm a Vietnam vet and I'm looking for a shirt with a 250 celebration on it. This has got to be a setup. Really? It's right there, buddy. Go to thedumbshow.com. Go say hi. Go pick it up. That's what it looks like on the back. That's what it looks like in the front. It's there for your purchasing power. Go get it. You just go to thedumbshow.com. So, listen, I'm not going to be a negative Nancy tonight. I'm just like, why didn't you come out earlier? Why didn't you come out during the Biden administration? Why are you coming out now? And why are we waiting right after Fauci, his statute of limitations on even if the states could do something to him, because federally he had a pardon, but the states could do something possibly. Why did we wait? Well, I know why we waited, because it's all kabuki theater. It's the same reason why you released the Kennedy files 50 years after the assassination. So the people who are responsible are dead. And it wound up getting kicked to almost 75 years after, which is just mind-boggling. See, November 22nd, 1963. So what? 63 years? This is stupid. And we still don't have everything. I don't believe we have everything. I mean, you can't readily access the original Zapruder film unedited. You can't still access the other 6 cameras that were being filmed that day. Do you guys? A lot of people don't know this because they don't study. They study the surface level. They watch JFK and they go, "Oh, I love the conspiracy theories." But if you actually get into it, there were 6 other cameras working that day. The press corps had a rolling camera. There was one over on Elm. There was one on Houston. There was one in the Secret Service vehicle. The widget isn't working again. I got it. How many did I miss? Yeah, I did. So Zach Doss, that's a new donor, $20. Zach, thank you so much. Who's the other person? But that doesn't add up to 5776, sweetie. 1776 and 20 is 3776. Did you add 20 twice? You need to go check. Sweetie, it's at 57. You can't make these mistakes. It says 5776. Go check. Yep. All right. So, and then you're going to need to recorrect it. If it does, call mom and she'll help you do it. I think she put it in twice. Zach, thank you for the donation. We greatly appreciate it. So my whole point is this. I understand that there is a sense from people saying, oh, well, they're doing it now. It's too late. Trump is in China. Why are we doing this when Trump's in China? Why are we even remotely screwing around with the trade deals and the geopolitics that are taking place inside China right now by doing this today. You couldn't have done this a week later. You couldn't have done it 7 months before. How about 4 years ago? Why now? So you got to ask yourself the question, why are they doing it now? I think we all know the answer to this. I think every single person in Washington, D.C. wants to circumvent Trump, and they want to destroy any chance he has to move his agenda forward. This is why they're calling session and not allowing closed session voting by keeping the session open at all times. So they can't make any recess appointments. I mean, this is, guys, these are Republicans that are doing this, not allowing Trump to appoint federal judges. Why would they do that? Well, because they will obviously want to circumvent and interrupt his initiatives. Take a look at Thomas Massie. Take a look at Rand Paul. Take a look at whatever they do, no matter what Trump puts forward. Somebody throws a monkey wrench into the plan. Look at the SAVE Act. They could nuke the filibuster. They could do that. They could force a floor vote and do a talking filibuster. They won't do it. Why? Why won't you do it? America wants it. 83% of Americans want the SAVE Act to pass. Well, you're empowered. You have a mandate. You have the House. You have the Senate. You have the Supreme Court. You have the presidency. What the are you waiting for? Nuke it. Because they won't. Nothing's ever going to happen. They want their districts. They want their money. They want their secure votes. They don't want to risk their own seats. They don't want retaliation, and they don't have balls. So who's doing it? The states, like I told you they would. The courts. But it's not senator-led. It's not state legislature-led. The governors are doing this. The state leaders are doing this. The Supreme Courts of the states and the Supreme Court of the United States are doing this. Georgia just jumped on board. We're going to talk about this. Why is it that governors have more guts than these legislators that we empowered and gave them a mandate to go and impose Trump's policies through session, through legislation, through votes to codify and make these things permanent? In the end, we just have a stooge up there, because the moment Donald Trump leaves, the 300 some odd executive orders that he's pushed through are all going to be wiped out in a stroke, just like Joe Biden did. This is what happens. I mean, like, if I'm not making sense, if I'm not cooking with gas, tell me I'm wrong. You know what I mean? Let me know. 200 or 276-200-2105. You can call in. But I don't think anyone disagrees here. And yes, my level of frustration is there. And I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. I'm not trying to be not happy. I'm not trying to, like the chicks on the right. I loved laughing the other night. It was great. But there's sometimes you just can't laugh. I'll let the chicks on the right do the funny stuff. I'm going to give you the serious stuff. I'm going to give you the truth. Yeah, Facebook's horrible today. We have 70 people. I mean, it's atrocious. I've never seen it this bad. Ever. I'm going to try to do another notification. I got to, guys. I already got to go. I can't. Ugh, this is depressing. It's never like this, except when it is. Except when Facebook does its thing. Yeah, the live show isn't even showing up on my feed. I'm the owner, and it's not even here. It's not even showing up on my feed, y'all. How in the fuck is it not showing up on my feed? How is that possible? No wonder nobody's on. Nobody can find it. I can't even pin it. Oh, this is ridiculous. This is fine. This is so stupid. I don't know what to tell you guys. It's not even here. You can't even see it. No wonder why there's nobody on. It's not on the feed. You guys think I'm crazy. Look. All right, there's the top of the page. First is my video today, the one with the music where people are pissed off. It's going viral. They're so angry with me. So angry that I called out Obama. Oh, how dare you? The Black Knight. The mad Muslim. How dare you? Then it's the post about that we're more outraged over stupid hantavirus and some mice on a ship versus Disney Cruise Line kids, you know? I'm in a bad mood. You can tell. Can you guys tell I'm in a bad mood? I'm in a shitty mood. And then there's the booking. Where's my show? Where's my live show? And why is it replaying this stuff that I just showed you? There it is. Can we just, you know what? We did this with the chicks on the right. It made me feel much better when we called Candace the C word. So Facebook is a bunch of yeah, it feels better. Nope, that's not my show. This is May 12th. What's up? I can't hear you. Baby, it's not going to work. You have to come and tell me each time. We're having a lot of problems. You're going to have to just come in and tell me each time. Okay? Did you fix the other one? Tell her to fix it now because this number isn't right and it's dissuading people not to donate. I need Mom on the phone, please. Okay, cool. Have Mom come in here. We can't put up something that's not true on the numbers. It's not ethical. Thomas Austin, $51.99. Thank you, Tommy. Appreciate the donation. I'm so sorry that we haven't seen it. Unbelievable, dude. It's not, I can't even tell you that the show's on. Usually I send this and I tag y'all. I can't even tag you. It's not here. Yeah, that's last night's. Then you got guys like Barry Morgenstein who are promoting your show and promoting your shirt and all the fans that do this and chicks on the right constantly saying nice things about us. Folks, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy the link and hit the group so people can tag it. And that's the actual, please click to watch. That's going to be the only thing I can do. How stupid. How stupid. I'm sorry this is taking so long, but, you know, what can I do? I got to try to get this thing taken care of. Send message. Okay, click here for show. Main show is broken. Okay, there. You got a notification, and you got to view the event. I hope that helps. All right. But this is why our numbers are shit. It's because it's not on the main page. Can anyone see it on the main page? Ridiculous. Here's Kash Patel. You guys may remember this guy. I know you know who Kash Patel is. But this guy starts challenging Kash Patel, and I believe he's House. And this is the guy that went and had margaritas with the rapist illegal. And he starts questioning Kash Patel about being an alcoholic. And dude, like, does he know Kash Patel has a gun? Well, listen to this, dude. What a horrible thing to do to Kash Patel. Kash Patel didn't do anything. Listen to this.
Occasions when your security detail had difficulty waking or locating you. Is that right?
Yeah, it's Senator Chris Van Hollen. That's right. Chris Van Hollen. This is the guy, remember, had the margarita and sat down with Abrego Garcia, whatever I guess his name. El Bragio del Toro, whatever the hell. The MS-13 gang member rapist who beat his wife. Yeah.
Nope, it's a total farce. I don't even know where you get this stuff, but it doesn't make it credible because you say so.
I'm not saying it, Director Patel. It's been written and documented.
You are literally saying it.
No, I'm saying that these are reports.
Okay, we got a call. Hold on. Hey, what's going on? Who's calling? What do you want to talk about?
I just wanted to let you know. Christine in Oklahoma.
Hi, Christine in Oklahoma. How are you?
I couldn't see it in your feed either. So I just, at the top of your page where it says live, I just click on that is how I got to your feed because it's not in, got to the show because it's not in your feed.
Awesome. Thank you, Christine, for telling me. I think we're getting it fixed. I appreciate you letting me know, hon. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am. That's why I love our viewers. They're amazing. Here is the rest. Here is Van Hollen saying his that Kash Patel is an alcoholic. Sorry, folks. I'm discombobulated tonight. I'm trying to get everything put together.
Occasions when your security detail had difficulty waking or locating you. Is that right?
Nope, it's a total farce. I don't even know where you get this stuff, but it doesn't make it credible because you say so.
I'm not saying it, Director Patel. It's been written and documented.
You are literally saying it.
No,
yes,
I'm
you
saying that
are.
These are reports, Director Patel.
No,
and
unlike
I
your
will
baseless
say,
reports,
Director
the only person
Patel-
that was slinging margaritas in El Salvador on the taxpayer dollar with a convicted gangbanging rapist
Yes.
was you.
You know, the
Yes.
person that ran up a
Director
$7,000 bar tab in Washington, D.C. at the
This
lobby bar
suggests to me-
was you. So
this
the only individual
suggests
in
to
this
me that the
room that has
allegations
been
are
drinking on
true.
taxpayer dime during
Are
the
you
day
polygraphing?
is you.
Director Patel, come on. These
Oh, you don't like it when the tables are turned, huh, big guy? This is exactly what you need to do to these pig. Every single one of them. Do this. Hold up the mirror and say, "Oh, you corrupt POS. How dare you use this hearing for political gain? You spent $7,000 in a Washington bar. How does he know that? Because he's the director of the FBI. And his job is to go through your P&L and your T&E and your expenses and the things you write off on taxpayer dollars. It's part of the FBI's oversight. Because long before they were a domestic terrorist investigation unit, they were a bunch of pencil pushers and accountants. And that was their job. They took care of white-collar crime. So it's still a part of their repertoire. So their job is to oversight and verify your spending and your illicit activity and your bank accounts. So Kash Patel, within his job, found out that you're a day drinker. And not only did we already know that because you were slinging margaritas with gangbangers in El Salvador, but you went to Washington, D.C. in the middle of the day and sloshed ice cubes with whiskey with bottomless well in the middle of the day, you lush. And you have the balls to question Kash Patel? Give me a break. What a wanker. You know what? You get the wanker award.
Wank!
Wanker of the day. Oh, and
Uh-oh, retard alert. Retard alert, class.
You are an idiot!
You even got the glow. Look at your cheeks, dude. They're rosy red, bro. The guy that lived down the road from me, his name was Bob. Bob, dude, that guy drank so much, he would have a bottle of wine for breakfast, a glass of scotch for lunch. And then for dinner, it was beef eater with pearled onions and olives straight up. Stacy Gavin, $20. Thank you, Stacy. As soon as I get a long video break, I'm gonna fix this. Stacy, thank you. I don't know if we have a couple new donors tonight. I think Stacy's donated. I think I recognize the name. I hope I do. Thank you so much for the donation. We love you. We appreciate you. So, look at him. He's got that glow. I think homeboy's a gangster. He's pimping ain't easy. I think he's drinking some Colt 45 with Billy D. Williams. Some gin juice with Snoop Dogg. Homie's throwing down with the OC, man. Serrano's 13, cuz. Hanging out in El Salvador, sipping on margaritas, man. It sounds like a Snoop Dogg song. Spending 7,000 schmeckles, Jew dollars. Maybe he's on the Jewish payroll. Maybe he had some Netanyahu money. $7,000. Do you know how much money $7,000 is in a beer tab? What are you doing, Johnny Walker Blue? Yeah, give me 5 bottles of Johnny Walker Blue. 17 bottles of Dom Perignon, please. Thank you. Just put that on my tab. We're just having a few drinks with friends. Give me a break. And you have the balls to question Kash Patel? What a douche plow.
There are serious allegations that were made against you.
The
There are
allegations are
that
false.
You filed.
You drinking margaritas with a gangbanger
actually,
is true and on
it
video.
just goes to show you
running a $7,000 bar tab at the lobby bar
Patel,
has been filed by your own office.
This goes to show
drink during the day. That's you.
Mr.
This
Chairman,
is the ultimate example.
Anonymous donated 2025. We know who you are. Thank you. Or it's 2026. My contacts are blurry. 2025. Thank you so much, Anonymous.
Chairman,
I will.
Matt, the chicks on the right enjoyed hearing your wanker call during the interview. What, they talked about me today? Why didn't anyone clip me? What? Did they clip me? Listen, if the chicks on the right are talking about me, I need to know this. Did you see what happened on Twitter? I mean, we gained like 50 followers and stuff that we posted. Like they're taking care of us. We really like them. But if they're talking about me, I should be the first to know. You know what I mean? You know how vain I am. Of course, I love it when people tell me more about me.
Not be tarnished by baseless allegations
Let me
and
ask
fraudulent statements from the media.
The fact that you mentioned that indicates you don't know what you are talking about. Now, here, Director
The only thing I know is you're the one drinking margaritas with felons.
Actually,
dude, like when they said Kash Patel was going to be FBI, I was like, I don't know. I had some issues with the advice that he gave President Trump as far as declassification. And, like, oh, what do you know compared to Kash Patel? First of all, I do know. And second of all, I do know. And third, I can have an opinion. Yeah, it is working, Loretta. I've seen people share it and it helps. But Facebook was just treating us like crap again. I would like to meet Kash Patel. And, and it's in the cards. Not going to lie to you. A friend of a friend of a friend. Let me just put it that way. So we're in a good position. We're in a good position, especially with the friends that we're making and the shows that we're doing. No, Bubba, I didn't say I wasn't on his team. I said I disagreed with him on two things. One, I disagreed with him with the opinion that he had on January 6th. And I also, the election. And I had disagreement with him about the classification of TSI and top secret and secret information, giving the president advice that he could declassify without notifying source. And that's not true. You have to notify source intelligence, and it has to go through the finding source and has to be redacted. That was my argument. I never said I didn't like him. I said I didn't know if he was the right choice for the job because I felt he led the president astray. That's what I said. Oh, Sherry, they didn't say anything? Okay. So it's not that I'm still not on Kash Patel's team. Kash Patel needs to do some serious stuff for me. Stacy again? Honey, say yes. I can't see you. Okay. Stacy Gavin, 2110 15111. Sorry, my daughter's behind a black curtain and I'm looking at bright lights and I can't see her. So she's like, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. Thank you, Stacy. I appreciate you. So it's just, I'm not really on anybody's team in Washington. I'm not even on Eli Crane's team anymore. I'm not on anybody. I'm on the Matt Spear team. I'm on the dumb team. I'm on the American citizens, and I'm sick of politicians team. Like, I am burnt out on politicians. I don't believe any of them. I think they're all crooked. They're all corrupt. There's no great white hope coming. I don't buy into it anymore. So whatever admiration I had for people who serve the country through politics is gone. I mean, there was a day that I was very, very appreciative of Newt Gingrich. I was very appreciative of Bill Clinton, even though I disagree with some of his policies and decisions. I still think he was a very good president. Van Orton is someone I look up to. Eli Crane is someone I look up to. But I don't admire them for their political affiliation anymore. I like them as human beings, but their politics, I don't care. Danny Claflin. I think it's how you say it. Danny Claflin ordered a Don't Unfriend Me shirt. Got himself a good-looking shirt. Sorry, that's so bright. Thank you so much for ordering it. It'll be out soon. It's funny. I know the chicks, they're in an argument with a couple people on my page that are talking some trash, and I'm going in there and slapping people around. But they're fun. Okay, let's get into this. A teacher talking to her students about anti-capitalism. And I guess I'll comment afterwards. Let's watch it together, and then we can talk about it.
So I just finished teaching a class called Crisis Earth, which is a non-major science class where we go through and talk about crises on Earth, environmental.
Okay, so it's a sociology course, is what you're saying. It's a study of. It's a study of, and it's not an applied science. So pretty much everything you say, it's not economics, it's not biology, it's not chemistry, it's not even earth science or anything to that effect. This is made up science. It's psychology and sociology, which are just made up. They're non-applied sciences. They are based upon theory. And they are based on probability of outcome that is about as consistent as rolling 100 dice and expecting, certain numeric equations to pop up in a billion years. Yeah. Why? Lightning? God, shit. Can you take over donations? Okay. All right. I love you. Tell Hayden, great job. Kind of. Did you get a hit? No, I know. I know. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry the game got canceled. But at least you get to watch the Avs tonight.
We were down 8-6, so I'm not mad.
Okay. I don't care. I love you. You were down 8-6? Yeah. So are they going to replay the game?
Yeah, we are.
They're not going to call it.
It was bottom of the first. So.
Oh, you were going to come back. Please. You guys are great. All right. So. Okay, it's working. All right. So it's on applied science. So it's just made up voodoo bullshit. Listen, I think psychology and sociology, they have their place. Like, psychology is a good practice, right? Because I think the power of understanding one's own psyche, that's great. But you're always at the whim of the person talking to you. And I learned how to put those people on the couch at a very young age. Very young age. I went to a child psychiatrist because I had an above average IQ, but I was not applying it properly. So ADHD, little hyperactivity, all those type of things. So they took me to Los Angeles. And what happened was this guy called my sister a whore behind my house. And then me and Billy, his name was Tommy Lohman, followed him home from school one day and beat the shit out of him. I don't call my sister a name. And I wasn't a tough guy, and I'm still not a tough guy, but I was pretty weak then. But Billy was good at what he did. So I kind of just cheered Billy on. Now, if it was today, I'd just throw the kid across the state line. But now, at that time, he sued Billy and he tried to sue us. So my parents are like, one of the agreements they have with the insurance company is they were going to let me talk to a counselor. So they bring me into a counselor, a child psychiatrist, and this guy's the best in LA. Like $500 an hour back then. This was like 1987, 86. $500 an hour is a ridiculous number. I mean, that's insane. I mean, now $500 an hour for a psychiatrist is like godly money. So this guy was huge. He helped celebrities and stars and everything else. And I get he got us a really good discount through the insurance company. And I guess my dad built pools for a living. So he built a ton of celebrities' pools and we got in to see him. And this guy sits me down and he's like, Mr. and Miss Spear, you can leave. My parents are like, what? Leave? Joanne Townsend, $55. Thank you so much. We absolutely love you. I don't know why it's not working. I don't know why it's not working. Oh, there it is. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Copy. Close. Copy. Copy. Make a new one. All right, let me do this. Okay. That should work. Okay. Whew. All right. So anyway, and he tells my parents to leave. Of course, my mom's like, why do we have to leave? Why can't, we're paying for this. She's like, just get out. So they left. And this guy's got an office. It's like, oh my God. Like every corner has a palm tree. It's like beautiful wood, dark mahogany paneling. And, the little things are there. And he's got like, play sand and kinetic magnets. All the, this guy probably lived in sharper image because he was a rich douche. And he had a crystal, a brushed crystal, soft etched glass chess set. And it was beautiful. It was smoke gray for the black pieces and ivory white for the others, and beautiful board. Board was all gold and silver inlay. It was beautiful. And he's like, do you play chess? And I'm like, sure. And then, do you want to play? I'm like, yep. And I wasn't excellent at chess, but I had played my dad a few times. And I had played at school. And I was good. I was good in the sense that I didn't know I was good, but I was good enough. So I sit down and he's like, well, let's play a game. And so I don't know opening moves. I don't know any of that stuff, but there's some basics I know. I know how to do, I don't even know what it's talked. I don't even know the names of them. But there's several attacks I do, bishop and a queen attack. I know how to go ahead and pinch the king with knights. I'm pretty good at drawing people and pinching themselves between their pawns and their rook. And, you know, some basics. I mean, I was a young kid. And he plays me. And first game, he lets me win. And I win in like 20 moves. And I had this look on my face, just like I do now. I was like, what? And I looked at him, and he's like, what's wrong? And I said, you're a psychiatrist. You're a psychologist, right? You know, whatever. Yes. I said, you've studied. I said, is this your first time playing chess? He says, no. I said, well, then why did you let me win? Why didn't you actually try? Because in my house, you didn't win in Monopoly. You didn't win at cards. Hell, you didn't even win at pickup sticks. You asked your dad to play a game, and you got your ass kicked. 17 games in a row. You're sitting there crying and you're blubbering, and your dad's like, you better learn how to be better. That was my house. And when we were playing Uno, it was vicious. Draw fours. Matt, draw four. What? You just hit me 6 other times. I've got 475 cards in my hand. Good, draw four. Son of a... That's the way it was. Insanity. But it's like that in my house now, too. And my son is ruthless at Uno. Grandma came into town. Grandma got spanked. And we're ruthless. That's the way you learn. So this guy just let me win. And I was like, why are you condescending to me? Why are you patronizing me? And I'm like, why don't you play your hardest and let's not play at all? And he's like, okay. And he put him back on there. And he just mopped the floor with me. And I'm like, okay, that's more like it. And he probably beat me in like 7-8 moves. It was just ridiculous. It was just, boom, just done. And he goes, is that what you wanted? And I said, no, that's not what I wanted. I want to win, but I don't want you to give me the game. Now, can we play for real? And he's like, what do you mean? And I said, do you think I was playing my hardest? And he goes, well, I thought you were. And I said, well, I wasn't. And he's like, sure, let's play a game and we'll both try our hardest. And we did. And it was a great game. I got my ass kicked, but it was a lot better than 7-8 moves. And he stood up and he said, thanks. And that was probably 20 minutes. And it was supposed to be an hour session. And he walks out, Mr. and Mrs. Spear, would you come here? Thank you. We're good to go. I won't be needing to see Matthew again. My parents are like, what? And he's like, and I'm only going to charge you for half a session. He's like, there's nothing wrong with this boy that an overactive imagination and high intelligence can't be cured with some stimulation. That was it. My dad was so pissed. My mom was so pissed driving home. What did you say to him? What did you do to him? You conned him like you always do. You conned him. No, I didn't con him. I just had a conversation with him. And I realized at that point that psychology was just complete shit. It was just shit. It was judgment based. And because I impressed this guy because of a chess game, he felt that I was emotionally stable, and I wasn't. I'd been raped by a Catholic priest, a family member, different occasions. I was failing in school. I had a severe fixation on weight from my father. Self-deprecating. Wanted to run away from home. Thoughts of suicide. I wasn't okay. I was f***ed up as Hogan's goat. And I realized that these people are just bullshit. You know what I mean? So my point is that when this lady talks about psychology, I'm kind of like, okay. Or if she talks about sociology, or if she talks about, threats to climate, this isn't based on science. So let's listen to it from that perspective. Long tangent, but that happens. Here it is.
Crises, all of which are human caused. And in this class, I have multiple debates on topics that are debatable, like solutions to climate change, or what we did today was endangered species breeding programs, whether or not it's a good idea. And every debate I have done in this class, filled with juniors and seniors at my institution, non-major science students, this year, for the first time ever, has devolved into anti-capitalist, anti-corporation conversations.
Oh, go figure.
And maybe that's not devolving. Maybe that's exactly where the conversation needs to go. Even though I'm teaching this as a biology course with kind of an environmental, well, definitely an environmental slant, these students are pissed. And they're pissed at corporate America. And these students are the ones that are going to change the world. It gives me faith. It gives me confidence.
Okay.
That our education isn't broken, that their eyes are wide open.
Okay. All right.
And they're not going to tolerate it any longer.
Okay, Karen.
Their solution to every environmental crisis that we've talked about
is destroy capitalism.
Dismantle capitalism and dismantle corporations.
Right. Dismantle corporations.
That says something.
Okay. All right. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and cut your nose to spite your face. So what happens when you take the richest companies, let's just take the top 500 richest companies, and you want to dismantle these corporations, you want to absolve them, which is representative of about $2.7 trillion annually. That's what you want to do. Okay, so $2.7 trillion for the top companies. But wait a second. That doesn't sound right, does it? How is it possible that the Fortune 500 is $2.7 trillion when Apple is... Oh, this isn't 1970, is it? Oh, gosh, we've had something called inflation that's taken place. The valuation of the dollar. We have the Dow Index. We've had it expand on NASDAQ. Why is it the fact that $2.7 trillion is a manageable number in some people's head, but when we think of the Fortune 500 today, when this lady was born, when she says, let's eliminate corporations, it had nothing to do with the volume and the size that we have today. If you look at capital reserve around the world, it's the American dollar. And if you were at $2.7 trillion in 1970, which the amount of money, which is ridiculous back then, it's now worth $46 trillion today. So if you want to liquidate $46 trillion, do you understand that there's not $46 trillion in the world in circulation? Most of that is just credit. A lot of it's credit. Some of it's cash currency. We understand that, bonds and everything else. Some of it's reinvested in the stocks and portfolios. Some of it's in the T-bills or invested accounts, whatever it would be. But $46 trillion, you just want to eliminate that from... Do you know what happens when that happens? Well, governments are going to start printing currency. And then we're going to have bread lines. And we're going to have gas lines. And we're going to have people eating out of dumpsters. And essentially, why and how do I know this? Well, because it's called Laos, it's called Venezuela, it's called Vietnam, and it's called Cambodia, and 100 other communist countries that have all failed because that's exactly what they did, was go ahead and take states' ownership of production. Every single one of those kids will foreclose on their loan. They will not be able to pay it off. Mom and dad won't have enough money to pay for that. Your salary, you're going to get laid off first. Those kids will no longer be in school, so that means the colleges collapse. Well, then the breeding grounds of high school stop because there's really no point to complete high school if you're not going to go to college because colleges will be gone. Do you understand this is very similar to wiping out the bees? Eradicating the bees from the planet, essentially all life will be gone within, 25 years is the adage? Not necessarily true because there are other species of insects and birds and other things and also the wind which go ahead and pollinate flowers. But we all know that bees are an essential part of creating vegetation and the vegetation feed the animals and then the animals feed us and then they go into the soil and the process rinses and repeats. We know this. But if you remove honeybees, the devastation that would mean to the agricultural portions of our country and around the world would be incredible. The same thing is true if you're going to literally gut all the corporations in the world, because not only are these corporations in the United States, they are global. And in the Fortune 500, about 110 of them are global companies. And whether that be Exxon or whether that be BP or whether that be DuPont or McDonnell Douglas or Grumman, these are corporations that do business all over the world. So when this dumb bitch says, oh, well, let's just dissolve all the corporations, as bees would essentially put us in a state of famine over the long term. If you absolve all the corporations in the short term, you will literally collapse the global economy. And of course, she's like, this is a good thing. Kids today believe that when in 1980, that I left my house and I bought a home, I was a CEO of a retail company, and I had a pot to piss in, and I had a car and a yacht and had vacations. This is absolute, complete, 100% shit. And the same thing is 100% complete shit about my father and his grandparents. It's well, they could just work at McDonald's and afford a house and a car and a family of 4. Fucking, I'm not even going to mute it. Fucking bullshit. No. Not true. Not true at all. My mother had brain surgery. We had 2 kids. That surgery was $175,000 out of my father's pocket. He had to work 4 jobs. He was a captain of the fire department. He would work weekends at the pharmacy. He was a mason and a bricklayer. And they did odd jobs delivering newspapers just to keep us afloat. He got a loan from my Yaya and Papu from Greece for $11,000 to buy their first home on 8486 Neath Street. $11,000 they got this loan. We drove a Toyota Camry, 1978, I believe is what it was. A yellow Toyota Camry that had been repainted from red. You never paint a light color over a dark color, because then every damn piece of that Toyota would start to flake off and you would see yellow and red. The seats were literally horrible. One of them had a smoke bomb dropped in it from Troy Willis from across the street, who put a smoke bomb in our car and it lit the seat on fire. So the driver's seat had coil springs. We lost our water heater in 78. And that water heater flooded our entire house, and we didn't have carpet in our house till 1981. We literally would jump over the tack in front of our doorway because it was in the concrete. That's what we had. We had no carpet. We were in concrete. Literally concrete. That's what we had. My parents didn't have it easy. I didn't have it easy. Man, I literally had a 13-inch black and white TV, my Nintendo, the old NES that I got for Christmas, and I took it with me, and I got it when I was like 8, and I found it in the attic, and I brought it out with me when I left home at 19. And it's a milk crate, a blue milk crate from Robinson Dairy with a 13-inch black and white playing my Nintendo. I had ramen. You know what my favorite meal was? White bread with cheese and one single over easy egg with a piece of fried ham on it with mayo. That's what I ate. I ate that every day. I worked my ass off at Applebee's. I would do open and close, double shifts, bartend on the weekends. Did it all. Then I went in the military. It wasn't perfect, but you learned. Made my first big money at Circuit City. That was huge for me. $32,000 annually. Best money I ever made in my life. So excited. It's like, oh, we're done. We can retire. We got $32,000 a year. And then I'm like, okay, well, what's next? And then it was like $48,000. And that was working at Hollywood as a trainer. Ultimate as a trainer. Then I realized I got to get an executive management. And my first executive management move as a district manager for Game Crazy Hollywood Video, $56,000 a year. Then I went ahead and from there. I left and went into Best Buy. Did district manager work there for $59,000. Then life got better. Limited Brands came knocking. First job, $77,000 a year. Bam, there it is. Life's good. I'm going to retire. Everything's great. I'm done. Nope. Then Apple came knocking. $118,000 a year as a senior manager, as an assistant manager, left the DM world and became, for 6 months, an assistant manager, essentially a senior manager for Apple. Then the big money came. That's when big money came. And it changed my life because then Apple came knocking and stocks, and it was just printing money and stock splits over and over and over. And people, you know what's funny? Nobody ever asked me, hey, Matt, you're 52 years old. How do you do what you do? How did you have a successful podcast? How do you survive on this? Well, it's pretty easy, folks, is we made some good choices in our life when we were younger. And it took us 5 years of literally pounding and pounding to make this podcast the best that we could. And it's doing great. It's not exactly where we want. It's not doing what I was making at Apple, but we're surviving. We're doing well. Well, that is still working. And maybe this transforms into something else. But for kids today to say, oh, this is the easiest thing. Grandparents, my parents, oh, they just walked outside and they had a job. No. We lived with 4 and 5 people in apartments. We lived in studios. I lived in Denver off Logan Street in Capitol Hill in a 500-foot studio with 4 guys. It takes time. And the only reason I got my college paid for, the only reason I got a house was because of the VA loan in the military. Darren Dabb says, I call bullshit. Be more specific, Darren. What part? Call in 276-200-2105. Take the Pepsi challenge. Step on up. Specifically point out what's bullshit. We'll see what happens. We'll see how that conversation goes. It should be fun. So when you sit here and say that kids want to destroy capitalism, let me make sure I understand this. You are looking at the past, you're looking at the present, you're looking at the future, and the past and the present are lining up as in, I want these things. I want success. I want money. I want a home. I want a car. I want to have a happy life. And you see there that it's going to take hard work and sacrifice, and you're not going to get it right away, even though your mommy and daddy told you so. And your answer is, it's too hard. That's why you're not successful. Because you're not willing to fail. You're not willing to make mistakes. You're not willing to put the sweat and the blood equity into the work. Oh, well, man, I've got $96,000 in college debt. Well, you're the stupid fuck who took the high interest rate on that loan when I could have told you for $1.25 that everything you learned in college isn't going to get you anywhere because you can't put 2 sentences together and you don't have the work ethic. You've got the skill, but you lack the will. And it takes skill and will to be successful. You may have the practical knowledge. You may have the studious learning out, but your experiential learning sucks. And you couldn't find your ass with 2 hands and a flashlight. But these people go, oh, well, I'm going to study gender studies. I'm going to go into theater. I'm going to go into English literature. And it's like, what are you going to go do? Study the Nobel laureate of Shakespearean theater in summer stock in New England and hand snow cones out to the other purveyors of Shakespeare? Why don't you get into something that's important? Why don't you get into renewable energies? Why don't you get into chipsets? Why don't you get into computer programming, graphic design? Why don't you get into, how about, dare I say, HVAC, plumbing? Be a crane operator. Darren said, Robert said the CIA raided Tulsi Gabbard's office. Thank you, Darren. I can't see it. And I know I've seen you before. So I didn't think you were coming at me. So that's why I kind of backed off. I can only see your comments. I can't see that you're replying to somebody. So Darren, you looked familiar. Plus you have Charlie Kirk in your profile. So you had to be okay. My apologies. The point I'm trying to say, folks, is these teachers, instead of looking at these kids and saying, it's going to require hard work. It's going to require long nights. It's going to require things you're not going to want to hear. You're not going to want to do. It's going to take sacrifice. But the best thing you can do to be successful is get married and combine incomes with your spouse who you love and trust, because that is what made myself and my wife successful, is having a partner who we can rely on, who is behind us, pushing us into success. Something to think about. Charlie Kirk or the next Damani. This is great. Joe Rogan found this kid who was really good at debate, and he goes, oh, this is the next Charlie Kirk. The next Charlie Kirk is alive and well, folks, and it's Damani Felder. And I'm just letting you know. He is the black Charlie Kirk. Damani Felder is extremely intelligent. He is very well educated, very well spoken, very well mannered and temperate. But he has not a temper, but he's able to, with words, move around people and get through their hostilities and be affable enough where they are receptive to what he has to say. It's not a skill set that I have. I have to build rapport with people before I can tell them things that they don't like. Damani has a way of telling you to f*** off and you don't know that it's happening. Here is the video from Joe Rogan.
You should see it. You should see the video. It's nuts.
I disagree that reparations are necessary. I think the most important thing that's necessary right now for the black community would be the stopping of violence, especially black on black violence. I don't see how reparations is going to solve anything. You can give everyone here like a $50,000 check, especially people that are in the streets who are committing violent crimes consistently, a $50,000 check. It's not going to fix anything. It's not going to increase the median household income in the next 10 years by 10% or 20%.
Oh, young man, I'm not sure where your education came from, but they lied to you.
Stats don't lie, though.
Are you acting right now? Do you really believe
I'm telling
this?
the truth. There's no systemic racism that I've experienced here in America. I think the only racism we've actually seen recently, systemic racism that we've seen, is the application of systemic racism against white people. The University of Western Washington, for example, has been trying to segregate dormitories, using black-only dormitories because black people feel safer amongst each other, when black men are more likely to kill me.
Oh my God, this is scary. You need to think about me as your mama. Do not talk to me in that fashion. So let's check that now.
Okay.
Okay?
No, that's not okay. You don't even know who your dad is. Kid's fantastic. And it's not because he says something we want to hear. He says it with conviction. Now, is that subjective? Sure. We know racism exists. Of course it exists. And for him to say, well, I've never experienced it, is not him saying that racism doesn't exist. He's saying, based on his subjective opinion, racism hasn't affected him negatively. And her mocking it, rolling her eyes and flipping out is because her doctrine tells her that everything that's wrong with her life and everything that's wrong with society is because of racism. And he's repudiated these notions. He's taken his own experiential learning, practically applied it to study, and now he's able to articulate himself not just on subjective or anecdotal experience, but to try to change a mind and say, well, your reality is that everything is racist. Can you give me some anecdotal experience? Can you give me some objective truths that support and back up? Because here are the numbers. And my numbers tell me that objectively, racism is not as prevalent or in abundance as it was in 1960, 1980, 1990, or even 2006 and 2012 with Obama. Because that's what the numbers say. And she can't do that. So her comment is, I'm your mama. Don't talk to me that way. Well, that's not going to work, lady. It's not going to work. Unfortunately, this kid's way too smart. Deborah Paris, heartfelt showmat, you're spot on. Thank you, Deborah Paris. $13.89. $215. Thank you so much. It's not so much heartfelt. And these are things we've talked about before. I'm just trying to, I'm getting some venting out of the way. Feels good. Oh, I don't think my Avs game's on this TV. Hey, Libby. Hey, Livy. Sorry. I don't mean to beckon to you. Could you get that on my phone, please? So, what? There's a pink moment outside? Oh. What's up with the thunder? All right. Well, folks, donations are sitting at $215. We'd really like to get to $300. I would like to try to hit the game tonight and watch my game. But first, let's go through the things that we're going to go through. Candace, a little bit of Candace tonight, talking about the Washington Post. She has used the Washington Post ad nauseum for hit pieces on things she agrees with. But whenever the Washington Post says anything negative about her, of course, she doesn't. Here's some examples just so you can know that she's more full of shit than she is usually.
I used to be like an avid reader of the New York Post. I had to stop reading it. And I mean, on the New York Post, there are literal journalists who are in the IDF. You can just see it right on their thing. This is a New York Post headline entitled, "He was suicidal and addicted to benzos." New York Post writer put this. So what they're saying is he lied. And I've been kind of telling you guys for a while that the New York Post is an Israeli op. Miraculously, the New York Post finds her.
Liv,
Here is
what
the
did you
cover
just
of the
do?
New York Post. The New York Post, which is a whole Israeli op. Don't get me started. The New York Post, the one that did like Candace Owens Anti-Semite of the Year. New York Post, the New York Post that has literal IDF soldiers that write for them. Yeah, that New York Post. They are decades ahead of us in terms of controlling the information that's on the web. But then we got a confirmation. Yeah, here's the headline, New York Post. Trump club shooter who claimed that he was Diddy's sex slave was hired by music mogul Cassie testifies. New York Post ran a headline. It was
Tommy Cawthon. I just got an update on your order, Bubba. This happens sometimes, but everything's on schedule. Some people got theirs early. Order is fulfilled. Estimated delivery May 11th through the 14th. If it is not there by tomorrow, you need to let me know, and I will take care of it. Okay. But you ordered it on May 3rd, so that's 10 days. Sometimes it's a little bit longer, but it has shipped, so it's usually pretty good. Everyone else has been fulfilled, and I think it's arrived. So you're odd man out, but stay in contact with me, brother. Okay. Here's the rest.
Emmanuel and Brigitte Macron's scandal-plagued relationship. The New York Post did this deep dive. This is a direct quote. Ready? From the article. Look, the New York Post is kind of looking like it's a Mossad outfit. It always kind of has been. Our guys, our resident guys over at the New York Post, every exclusive ever, it's always the New York Post, okay? I view them as a feds. Like, would you like to comment? The New York Post would like to, I said literally, New York Post, you guys are just feds. The New York Post, right? Outfit of the Mossad, outfit of the deep state. The New York Post, the Israeli Post, right? What were they sharing there? He wrote of his deep love for Israel. New York Post, just to give you an example of how insane this is. They said they had an inside source that told them that while I was at the
like, she's so exhausting. Liv's here. Liv's trying to turn the hockey game on for me. Unless somebody really nice wants to go ahead and close the gap in the 300 so I can go. While I was at the top of my career in earnings, God instructed me to pay an extra payment to principal. The balance melted away very quickly. It does. It disappears. Oh, Liv, please turn that down. Oh, headache. Yeah, I mean, you take a look at, let's say you add an extra $3,000 a month to your payment. If you can be in that position, well, that's $30,000 a year. In 3 years, you knock out $100,000. If your home's worth $500,000-$600,000, that's incredible. You know what I mean? You're talking that you can pay off your home within 15 years. So it's important, you know? We're not there yet, but hopefully with wonderful people like you, we will be. Spencer Pratt poll. This is important. This is for the mayoral race going against Bass. Here it is. Got a couple things on Pratt to show you.
New polling showing political outsider, former reality TV stars.
If the Avs win tonight, they go to the Western Conference Finals. They'll play the Kings or the Ducks. I'm assuming it's probably going to be the Kings. I think the Kings have been here before. Ducks haven't. They've got a lot to learn. They're young. If we win tonight, I'm not assuming anything. I think Minnesota's going to come out and play. They don't have X. They don't have Broden. I think they're going to be a little bit disjointed. It's already 1-0 Minnesota, so we'll see what happens. They scored early, so that's what Minnesota wants. They want to get up early. And I guess, yeah, I just really wanted to watch the game. So we'll see what happens. We could put them away tonight, or we couldn't. Either way, I'm not too worried. Here's Spencer Pratt and the polling that's going on.
Spencer Pratt making huge strides in this race for LA mayor. The independent candidate gaining 12 points since March. Now trailing Democrat incumbent Karen Bass by single digits. Pratt's campaign in next month's primary gaining traction with voters. He highlights LA's homelessness crisis and failed leadership. He does it very artfully with a ton of social media and some pretty powerful ads, I think, have really helped this race for him quite a bit. Uphill battle in LA, to be sure. Let's bring in Jerry Baker.
So is it possible to win in Los Angeles? Sure, it is. Los Angeles has had Republican mayors before. This is a little bit of a different situation. People are sick and tired of it. I want to go ahead and listen to Pratt, what he has to say. TMZ was writing kind of a hit piece on him, and he decided to call right into TMZ and said, I'm going to take him face on. This impressed me. I've seen a lot from this guy, some of his commercials, but it's nice to see him actually do something like this. Folks, we are $85 away from goal. Would love to get that on there. And if we have a chance, go to thedumbshow.com/donate. Here is Pratt on TMZ, and we might lose you any second because of lightning and thunder. Here it is.
The campaign ad certainly made it seem that you were living in that trailer. It was a high point of the commercial, but you're at the Hotel Bel Air. So kind of undo that for us.
No, to be clear, that is where, excuse me, that is where I live. That's where Karen Bass, Mayor Bass, burned down my house. That is where I will live until I have a new house. The Airstream is a temporary facility. A hotel is a temporary facility. Where my kids are in Santa Barbara right now is a temporary housing. This is where I live as this is where they burned my house down. So this semantics or the nuance of this is the consequences of their failed leadership. And again, I don't live at the Hotel Bel Air. I don't live in the Airstream. I don't live in the Santa Barbara. I don't have a house. They burned it down. That is why I got into this race, because of these people that will burn your house down and act like it's no problem. So this idea that anyone's like, oh, he's at a hotel. I'm at a hotel because these psychopaths are messaging me every day. They're going to kill me because Nithya Raman is calling me a fascist because I don't want people to have their kids next to drug addicts at the park or stepping in human poop when you get your matcha. I have common sense. That's not fascism. So these psychos here, I'm a fascist. And then they literally, like, if you would like to see the death threats, I can send them all offline where people are like, I'm going to hire people to kill you. So yes, unfortunately, now I have a security team and they will not, even if I wanted to stay in the Airstream, would let me because there's 360 unobstructed views since there's no houses. So you can literally snipe me out from any part from 300 yards away easily.
Spencer,
one sec. Not to mention the Airstream, it took over a month for LADWP to connect a wire for electricity to it, which was 3 days ago. It took weeks to get the water hooked up, which was yesterday. So for these people that want to focus on where I sleep at night, first off, I don't even sleep. I get 4 hours of sleep because I'm fighting these corrupt freaking politicians all day long. You want to see my phone hours? I'll screenshot it. It probably says 19 hours.
I hear what you're saying, and on the symbolism of your ad, that because of the fire, that you don't have a home, and I get that. But there's something to the point where you say in the ad, this is where I live, while you're standing in front of a trailer. I think the reason that ad was so effective with voters is because you did draw this visual comparison of where the mayor lives, where Nithya Raman lives, and where you live. So you're showing where they live, and then you're saying, this is where I live. Everyone saw that ad and thought, wow, Spencer Pratt has to live in that trailer because his house burned down.
I do, sir. But that is my house.
But for the last month and a half, you've been at the Bel Air Hotel.
I haven't been at the Bel Air Hotel for more than 6 days in the last month. This is all public on my things.
But that's where you've been staying. I know you may not have actually been in it.
No, I've been in Santa Barbara.
Man, these TMZ is trash.
Where the LA Times reported where I lived and doxed me. That is where I live. Period. This is LA Times. This isn't breaking news. Even when the Airstream ad came out, the LA Times cover story is saying, no, Spencer Pratt lives in Santa Barbara. And I said, yes, thank you for doxing me. I tried to sue the LA Times for saying where I actually live.
But but are you saying you live in that trailer?
I don't live anywhere is what I'm saying. I don't have a house. They burned it down, Harvey. I don't have a house.
But why not say that? But Spencer, that would be really effective. Why not say that in the ad? I don't have a home.
You texted me today. I have never told anyone I lived in it. And yet in the ad you say, this is where I live.
This is my house. This is my property. There's nothing there, Harvey. It's dirt lot. I had to have it craned in to the lot. That's what people are. This is psycho. I only got on this live because I love you. But so last time I'm going to talk about this because the reason I am running is because they burned down 7,000 houses. This is where everyone lives. They don't not consider that their home just because it's a dirt lot, because it's an Airstream, a teepee, a tent. When you're a fire victim, this is where you live. They burn it down. This is where I always will live. People are missing the messaging of the consequences.
But Spencer, listen, I've known you for a long time.
Yes.
And you're a really smart guy. And you are all over these ads, which have been, honestly, they've been lauded by people who have said these are, brilliant ads. Wasn't the point there,
It's more of the same. Let me get to the ending where he closes and buttons this up.
These are
for those 4 hours.
Again, I don't live anywhere. They burned my house down, to be clear. So I love you guys. You can,
all right.
What we should be doing on TMZ is talking about the drug addicts that we spend $500 million that live on our sidewalk going number 2. This is great that this is the focus, but that's the reality. And if people care about this right now, we're in so much trouble. And I'm going to do my best to try to save LA. But if people don't get out and vote because they want to feel safe, and that's what I'm fighting for people to feel safe and their tax money to literally go to making us safe and the people to get housed and people not to die on the street, that's the message. So this does not matter. That is where I live, period. And I'll live in LA as long as I have that dirt lot. The Airstream is imaginary to me. I live in that dirt, in my ashes. That's what I fight for. So I love you guys. Keep posting me. Please use better photos. God bless you.
Listen, I understand what he's saying. Coach Tim Liebert, go watch the game. Thank you, Timmy. I'm working on it, buddy. It's okay. I want to finish the show. It's important to me. I'm here. And I want to finish it. And if God puts lightning out and brings my son home so he can watch the game, that's really what matters to me. So thank you so much for that. That is an incredible gift, Tim. Appreciate you. Listen, you take a man's castle. Sleeping, eating, going for a walk with no house, you're not living. You're not living anywhere but there. 24 hours a day, this guy's thoughts are encompassed by his home that was taken away from him and destroyed by horrible, horrible political decisions, by firing firemen, from not ensuring that the reservoirs were full and the equipment was working. You can sit here and say that that's semantic. It's not. It's not semantics. He lived it. The whole reason you're even talking about a hotel, the only reason you're talking about a Bel Air or whatever it is, a camper, is because his home is burnt to the ground. He's living there. His head is there. His mind is there. His spirit is there. His thoughts are constantly there. I get that. It's very similar to being overseas. You might be residing in a place, sleeping in a place, eating in a place, but your thoughts are at home. And you're living home. And that's where you are. Anywhere else is just a temporary stay until he gets back to his home. I get what he's saying. And for them to sit here and play this game in semantics, it's just desperate. Bass knows that her points are just bleeding. Here is her response on Tyler Byron douchebag Cohen, who, dude, please, why are you guys growing beards and putting on t-shirts now? Give me a break. Remember when I was doing this and people, well, you need to put on a tie. You need to put on a suit. You need to be, in order to be credible. Just give me a break. People like Graham Allen and I have been doing this. Even Benny took off the suit and he's wearing a t-shirt, for God's sake. You guys are all posers.
Well, Spencer has been very outspoken about this idea that you and California Democrats, current leadership, are responsible basically for the tragedy that befell him. And so what would your reaction to that be?
Well, what I have felt about Spencer all along, because I've watched this very closely in the Palisades, is I understand, obviously, his personal tragedy and all of that, but I think that it is really, really sad to play on people.
If you're saying but after somebody's home burnt down, then you don't understand their personal tragedy. You know what I'm saying? I really feel bad for that person that they're going through cancer, but You don't understand.
Grief, and to create an atmosphere of nothing is happening and hostility. There were absolutely mistakes. The city really was not prepared for a disaster of that magnitude with a weather event that we had never experienced before. And so hindsight is everything. But this also was not just the city of Los Angeles, the county as well. And when I talked to the fire department afterwards, their response was, we are very used to Santa Ana winds, but we have never had anything like this.
Bullshit. Lady, I lived in California for 19 years and then plus 6. And Santa Anas are about as consistent as the sun rising and setting. Santa Anas gave my mom migraine headaches. They happened every year. They are dry. They are powerful. They come out of the deserts and the high deserts of California. They are brutal. And every single year, California is on fire because of the Santa Anas. And it literally makes it drier than a popcorn fart. And that fuel goes up with a cigarette butt, a bottle that reflects the sun, or just Satan literally coming out because that's where he resides in California. So give me a break. Holy crap. Matt, I'm catching up that holy shit. Put that on a shirt. You have the skill but lack the will. Okay, I'll do that. Remind me, Sauce. Remind me. I'm trying to watch my game at the same time, but we're doing okay. I'm multitasking. I'm multi-switching. There's no such thing as multitasking. So, lady, you're full of shit. As a Christmas goose, blaming climate change. Oh, well, we weren't prepared for the Santa Ana winds. Okay. Give me a break. That's like Vermont saying we're not prepared for the snow. We never saw this type of snow here before. Give me a break. Come on, Avs. Minnesota's coming out with heart. You're not playing well. We need to stop this next 10 minutes. We got a no goal in the next 50 seconds and we can win this game. But if you allow them to get up again, Minnesota's going to poop out. They're going to get tired here soon. They're putting it all on the line in the first period. I think Avs are doing fine. All right. Here we go.
And so I think that the lesson for me and for Angelenos is that now, given climate change, we have to expect things. I mean, I'm born and raised here, so this is the climate I know. And
Ventura, Simi Valley just literally burned down. The entire Ventura County, man, Ventura, my homeland, just a few years ago, burnt down. What are you talking about, lady? There's fires every single year in California. There's hundreds of them, 300-400 going on at the same time, all during the Santa Anas. You are full of shit as a Christmas goose. You look like a puffkin, by the way, a black puffkin.
We now have to expect things that we would have never imagined.
Never imagined because of climate change. How many hurricanes do we have this year? Okay, you're done. You're cooked. STFU. So sick of this. How cold did it get? Oh, it's not global warming. It's climate change. It's not. No, we're going to rename it again. How come nobody's selling all their beachfront property? Oh, okay. All right. E. Jean Carroll, $83 million suspended. Court says, puts it on hold. She's not going to get that money. I told you she wasn't. First of all, it's an excessive fine. An absolute excessive fine. $83 million. Give me a break. Here it is.
Yeah, told me. I had such great ideas for all the good I'm going to do with this money. First thing, Rachel, you and I are going to go shopping. We're going to get completely new wardrobes, new shoes, motorcycle for Crowley, new fishing rod for Robbie. Rachel, what do you want? Penthouse? It's yours, Nothing. Rachel. Penthouse and France? You want France? You want to go fishing in France? No? Oh, all right. Okay.
Yeah, so emotionally distraught that you're. Could you just pretend to be a little morose? Just a little reflective on your violation of rape that was sexy from Donald Trump, you know? Yeah, the sexy rape that took place. You could you just look a little sad? I don't know. I've known a lot of people who've been raped. I've never talked about it in a jovial way. I don't know. This woman is the devil. 16 different allegations of sexual misconduct. If you have accused 16 men of sexual assault, it's not them, it's you. It's you. 16 times, it's you. He hit the pads. That's not a goal. I want to see it again. I think it was in his pads. If it's in his pads, it's not a goal. Nope, that's a goal. All day long. Was there any interference? Nope, that's a goal. He's trying to play the puck. That's a goal. All right, one more. I got to go. I got to get out of here. E. Jean Carroll. So there's a hold on the penalty, $83 million. She's not going to see a penny of that. We understand that. Georgia, we talked to you guys about this. I told you about Georgia. Don't be surprised if the Avs come back. 2-0. I'm not even worried yet. 3-0. I might get a little worried. The Avs, Minnesota's coming out for their playoff lives, and Colorado will respond. McKinnon's just going to take this game over, I think. Let's see what happens. Don't be. If you're worried about this, you haven't watched the Avalanche. They'll get it. I don't know if they'll win, but they'll figure it out. They'll answer. That was almost a goal right there. Okay. Here is Georgia. Remember, everyone, Matt, they're not going to redistrict for this election. It's not going to. Who told you that they would? Wait for Nebraska and Oklahoma. Just wait. Now Georgia's on board. I told you, the courts were going to step in. They don't want these elections to take place if it's only going to be challenged for the constitutionality of these districts in March. No court is going to allow this to happen. They're going to avoid the headache right now, and they're going to redraw it now. They're not going to do it after the vote. It doesn't make any sense. Here's Georgia.
In an extremely rare move, Governor Brian Kemp is calling lawmakers back to the Capitol for a special session.
It is to address some outstanding election issues, mainly a fast-approaching July 1st deadline set by Georgia's legislators. Atlanta News First political reporter Doug Reardon is live for us at the Capitol. Doug, what will lawmakers have on their plates when they arrive back?
And that will happen, Carly and Joe, at 2 o'clock on June 17th. That is the date that was set for the start of this very rare, exceedingly rare, in fact, special election. And they will be dealing with some outstanding election issues. That July 1st deadline that you mentioned is top of the list. That is when those QR codes that we have on our ballots right now that are used to tabulate our votes become illegal. And that was something that actually the legislature imposed on themselves a couple of years ago when they passed that bill in 2024, setting that deadline. It followed a lot of skepticism about QR codes and fears over the security of that method, but lawmakers wrapped up this session here a few months ago without picking a replacement method for counting votes all this time later, and that created worries about how we would count ballots in the upcoming November midterms. Keep in mind, we still do not have a way to do that, and so Kemp said lawmakers will address it during that special session. And
I'm wondering why people are calling Kemp a rhino. Why? Because what did he not do? He stood by Trump on everything he's done. Every decision that he's made, he's backed Trump up. He just didn't back him up on finding stolen votes on the night of the election. And all of a sudden he's a rhino. Why? He's assisted every single investigation. His point was always, hey, if there's evidence, I'll support it. But until then, I have to maintain what I can and can't do. I don't understand why Brian Kemp's a rhino. I predicted Brian Kemp would win. He did. I told you Stacey Abrams didn't have a chance. I don't think Kemp's a rhino. I think we use that word way too much. I really do. Lindsey Graham's a rhino. Thomas Massie's a rhino. Rand Paul's a rhino. These are all fake Republicans. Kemp's not a rhino. I like him. I always have. So, nope. I disagree. That's okay, though. We can disagree. Here's the rest.
Of course, after that Supreme Court decision last month that banned racial gerrymandering, they may also redraw Georgia's congressional maps for 2028.
Abs are getting spanked. Abs are getting spanked. You got to pull Blackwood. You got to pull him. Get Blackwood out of the fucking net now, Bednar. Pull Blackwood. This is stupid. Why are you keeping him in? Pull him. Why is Blackwood in? This is so painful. Sorry, guys. Oh, it's painful. What are you doing, Makar? Yeah, this could be going to 6, going back to Minnesota. That's the way it is. Avs aren't playing very well.
Election that year. It is something Republicans badly want to do and something Democrats fear will dilute the votes of many minority communities.
All right, so now that we've got that done, let's do one more thing. I want to show Thomas Massie. Now, this is Benny doing this, and I want you to take this for what it's worth. He's all excited that, Thomas Massie's going to win the election. And okay, slow down. Listen, we're challenging this goal, right? We've got to be challenges. What are we challenging it for? Sorry, hold on. Melanie, we have a better road record. What do you mean they're at home? That doesn't mean anything. We have a better road record. Oh, did he kick it in? Oh, that's a kicking motion. That might be called back. Hold on a second. Let me watch this. He puts his foot up. He looks down. Oh, I don't think it touched his foot. That's a good goal. That's a good goal. Yeah, good goal. Yeah, I'm not a homer. What are you talking about? The embarrassment. Melanie, are you trying to piss me off? I don't understand. Are you trying to make me mad? Like, why? Why would you do that? Like, are you just trying to piss me off? Like, this is my team, and I'm sitting here working on the show. I hope I'm misreading you. Here's Massie and Benny.
On the record, against Thomas Massie. I've seen enough. I am looking at these polling numbers. Look amazing. Here we go. Let's pop them up. It's a brand new poll. It's just out seconds ago. Thomas Massie is losing by what looks to be 8 points, a spread of 8 points right now, to Ed Gallerin, who should be winning this race in about a week. This is going to be a huge race in order to test the power of MAGA and in order to test the power of our movement. Thomas Massie has voted consistently with it. He's the number one vote with the Democrats in the.
Why are they waving off that goal? Why are they waving it off? It looked clean. Did he kick it in? Oh, it went off his hand. I didn't see that angle. Oh, yeah. So I was watching his feet. Oh, so he handed it in? Oh, okay. So we waved it off. There we go. All right, here's the
entire Republican caucus. He does this as a personal grudge against Donald Trump. And you hate to play power politics like this, but you have to send a message.
Yeah, I agree.
The hour is late. The time is dire. We need every single one that we can get on our side. And if you're going to call yourself America First, but then betray America First every single time you get a chance, just like Marjorie Taylor Greene did, then you don't deserve to win your seat. Go run as a Democrat.
I say Benny is now against Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay.
This is what you want to do. You're from Massachusetts. You're not from Kentucky. Go run as a Democrat. And again, if you want to go on CNN and grind an axe and go on The View, go on MS Now and grind an axe and be beloved by corporate media, the decision is simple. Change your party, switch parties, run as a Democrat. On the record.
Listen, I happen to agree with everything Benny said. I think it's convenient that he's saying it. He sucked up to Marjorie Taylor Greene always and always has. So that's a little concerning for me. As far as the Qantas poll, it's not a good poll. It's predominantly a conservative poll. So those numbers aren't really accurate. There are some polls that had him up 24 points, Gallerin. This is going to be a tight race. Do I think Massie's going to lose? Well, I hope so. But the polling isn't as cut and dry. One poll is not going to give you the number you're looking for. I'll give you the actual average and where it's at right now. Just give you an idea. So the Qantas shows him up 7.6. Let me get numbers. The one I was looking at had Massie up by 6 last week, but that could change, especially with the new news that just came out. I'm going to share that with you in a second. So some are showing 8% lead, some are showing 9% lead. So some good swings are taking place. Once again, that is one poll, but the numbers are looking good. In the last 7 to 10 days, they've switched, right? So he was up 4.5, 6 points. Now they're showing a good 7, 8. National average is, as far as a collective average, is 5 points to 7 points. That's a good swing for him. That's a 10-point swing. Here is his lawyer coming out, which is really interesting. This is the lawyer for the woman accusing Thomas Massie of getting her fired because they had an encounter, and that Thomas Massie blackmailed her for $6,000 and then $5,000, then offered her $60,000 for her to remain quiet. Oh, this is interesting. Here's the lawyer saying that Massie's ducking her.
I want to say this very clearly from the outset. I'm doing.
Matt, you get into sports. No, this is. I know people who are on the team. I met every single player for the Avalanche. I've been watching them for 30 years as the Quebec Nordiques. Yeah, I take it seriously, and it's the playoffs. It's like don't do that. You know, don't get especially when your team's not even there. You know what I mean? I'm just not. I don't talk shit about other people's teams during game. I don't try to hurt people's feelings. I don't like that. You know, don't lay it on. I know what's happening. My team's losing. I don't need to hear it. But people know a long time for me for 5.5 years is hockey. I have no sense of humor about, especially in the middle of the playoffs when I'm on live and I really want to watch the game, but I also really want to finish the show. So cut me some slack.
This in as much of a gentlemanly fashion as possible. If anyone who's watching this knows attorney Steve Doan, please have him contact me as soon as possible. Steve Doan has been identified in at least one social media post as the attorney spokesperson for Thomas Massie. Steve Doan, in his partisan passions, has posted something to his political page that I need to discuss with him. I won't go into further detail unless it becomes necessary. And let me say that I reached out to him on social media yesterday. About an hour ago, I made a phone call to his office and left a message on his voicemail. And I sent him another message just a moment ago on social media, but I've had no response. I will accept the fact that he could be busy. He's campaigning. He's an attorney. He has a life, but this cannot wait. He needs to talk with me immediately.
Wow.
It will be a kind conversation from my end, but I will be discussing something with him which is better left unsaid so that he can take the opportunity to correct it himself.
Wow.
Before I have to. If you know Steve Doan, if you have a way of getting in touch with him, have him call me sooner than later.
Wow. Yeah. So Massie is getting a lot of attention, and this. Here's the thing. I didn't like it when it happened to Biden. I don't like it when it happened to Trump. I didn't like it when it happened to Gary Hart. I don't like people using October surprise, and this would be considered an October surprise because it is an off-cycle election. I find it now. It's not like this woman just came out. She's been doing this for 3 or 4 years. She's been screaming and banging this drum for a while. So I'm more acquiescent and inclined to agree with her based upon that she's been beating this drum for 4 years, 3 or 4 years. So to me, that changes some things. It doesn't make it an E. Jean Carroll, or it doesn't make it a Blasey Ford type BS situation. It lends some credibility to her accusations. And I think Thomas Massie needs to answer for them. And this will not be the only one. These happen. And I would imagine something else will come out that exposes Thomas Massie for who he is. I mean, his wife, how quickly he found another woman, the fact that he was possibly having an affair with this woman so quickly. These are signs of a person with some moral flexibility that is not necessarily what we want from a person who is leading the wonderful state of Kentucky as a senator, state representative, excuse me, leading a district in Kentucky. I was thinking of Rand Paul, but Rand Paul is also somebody who bothers me. But I think we're going to find out in a week. We will cover the election and we'll see what happens. And I'm hoping that the polls are correct. I think Kentucky is pissed at Massie and what they did to President Trump. And I got to go. I just need to go watch my game. And I love you guys and I appreciate you, but I'm going to go take some time for me. And, I want to watch my team get their ass spanked in my lonesome. So we'll talk to you guys soon. God bless. Take care of each other. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. I'm going to go 13 minutes early. I'll see ya. Bye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.